okay, I will cause problems on purpose. Okay. I think this one's marked. Here we go. I don't remember how he does his intro. Siren song. Your name is Harmony. A bit on the nose, maybe, but you like it just fine. After all, you picked it out yourself, didn't you? Yes, because before it had been Piper, and Jane before that, and Cicely before it was anything else at all. And now, you're Harmony, and the lights are bright downtown, and you are so very far from home. Do you miss the sea? Do you miss the biting air and the feel of the salt embedding itself beneath your skin until you can't tell the difference between it and your veins? Of course you do. But most of all, you miss a good and proper meal. Your name is Harmony, and you are dancing until your feet ache. You can't remember the name of the club, just that the music is loud and you know the girls on stage. They smile back at you, and for a moment, under the strobe light that matches the pounding in your head, you can nearly see the gills or the flash of a feather. And faintly, beneath the bass and the shouting, you can hear them sing along. Their name is Ada. They're dancing alongside you, against you, everywhere. They grin and ask something you can't quite hear over the music, but you nod anyway. You can tell they're the sort of folk that's there most nights, and they've coated their face in wonderful pink glitter. They're swaying and jumping along to the music perfectly in sync with the way it's entranced them. It's then that you know exactly what they'd asked for when you reach into your back pocket and slip out a little tab. It's got something or other printed on it you don't remember. It's whatever they want it to be. They laugh and stick out their tongue when they see it, and you shake your head, and you lead them to the bathroom. They skip behind you and keep a hand on your waist the whole way down. They don't seem to notice how bony it's become. You come out of the bathroom, Ada-less and pleased. Your hunger is quenched for the time being, although you do feel awful sorry for whoever wanders in there next. You let the tab sit on your own tongue, and then you're off again, waiting for someone else to get just this side of too close. You rather like it at the clubs and cabarets, easy prey and all, but it isn't long before the incubi flood the city streets, and you decide that that's much more their playground than yours. And so, his name is Marcus. He plays the guitar, albeit rather poorly, and he sings with confidence rather than skill. You found a flyer for his show on a telephone pole in the city, and you talk to him at the small merch stand afterward. Marcus wants to be a star. So your name is Harmony, and suddenly, you're an agent. He shakes your hand with a broad grin and babbles about how excited he is to be working with you. You invite him over to talk business, and he agrees to Wednesday afternoon after his shift at a nearby sandwich shop. He doesn't notice when you lick your lips in excitement. Days come and go, but nothing really matters but the approaching promise of company. Wednesday comes slowly like a watched pot, but still, there's a knock at your door. He stands beaming and clutching a tattered guitar case, shifting feet before the porch while he goes on and on about his day and such. You aren't really listening. Enough chit-chat, you tell him. Let's get to it then. So you clear your throat, and then you're singing the sweetest song he's ever heard. All you have to do is sign right here, and I can make all your dreams come true, Mr. Cunningham. I can put a good word in with the right people. I can get your name out there. Really, it won't be long at all before everyone knows your name. And that's what you want, isn't it? Oh, poor Marcus. No one's ever known your name, have they? Even your father called you champ when he forgot. Last picked in gym, always having to partner up with the teacher, or making a group of 3 with best friends that glare at you while you do the bulk of the project. Not anymore. They'll be in the front row at your concert, screaming your name. I can make you a god. That's more than enough to get him inside, that lovely glazed look in his eye all the way up the steps. You're on him before the door is even fully shut. Teeth meet flesh and tear like scissors through wrapping paper, the hope in his blood making it taste that much sweeter. Your wings unfold and lift you high enough to descend upon his face, gnawing it down to bone and relishing the way his tongue slides whole down your throat. After some short time, the bones of Marcus Cunningham lay licked clean and dry on the floor of this month's home. You really ought to stop making such a mess. Your name is Harmony, and this month, you're a defense attorney. You've never been very good at arguing, but persuasion happens to be your specialty. Lace that sing-song sweet into your words, and any jury will fall at your feet. And you're paid quite well, too. You like to pick up the tough cases, the real irredeemable scumbags. I'll get you off scot-free, you tell them. You know how many cases I've lost? None. Lower than anything, yeah? I do my job right well, sir. You trust that. So this one's name is Blake McFarlane. She held a family at gunpoint for some debt the father owed, money they didn't have, and she shot the little one dead. All evidence points to her. She cleans up about as well as you do. The best part is, she doesn't seem to think she did anything wrong. And in no time, you've got the jury convinced of the very same. The judge lets her go with a couple years parole, and she's clinging to your arm, crying, thanking you. You smile at her, and you say, "Of course, doll. Now say I buy you a drink, huh? To celebrate?" She nods into your sleeve, and you take separate cars to a bar a few blocks over. You've got the photos of that poor little kid and the testimonies of her weeping parents in your head the whole way over. You've only just barely dragged her into the back alley before you're ripping her apart. It feels right. It feels just to get her that close to freedom and take it all away. You hope that little girl knows this monster got what was coming to her. Her vocal cords are stuck between your teeth like floss before she can scream for help, her arms and mangled hands waving frantically around for purchase, finding nothing but your bared, sharp shoulders and kicking at your legs long off the ground. You lick your lips clean and let her fall to the ground almost lifeless. You snap her legs, toothpicks beneath your taloned feet, and you leave her there to bleed the rest of the way out. She doesn't deserve to go out clean and quick. Your name is Harmony. You sit in your office chair throne at the tippy top of a many-leveled building that towers over the people that walk beneath it. Beneath you. It's been an endless food chain of profit and the profited, and you fancy yourself the apex predator. There's not a thing in this world your money can't buy, and yet it's never quite enough. Tear down these apartments, pave this forest, drain them all dry of pennies and dimes and the blood on their bones, sing them sweet on fortune and fame, and toss them when you're done gorging yourself on all they have to offer. It's not quite the sea, but times change, and sometimes for the better. You aren't sure the last time you met hunger, but satisfaction begins to bore you, and you find you so desperately crave the hunt. And so you tear that castle of exploit and exploited down to rubble from top to bottom, and you set off to the next city, the next country, the next chorus, the next meal. Your name is Harmony, but it isn't, is it? No, your name is something pitchy that leaves a burn on the tongue of those unfortunate enough to speak it. But don't let that stop you. You're getting awful hungry. The end.
Hey, what you doing there, fishy?
I was just, fucking around. I was just, I don't know, poking a little fun at you. Like a little sibling does, but, what the fuck is up with this story? Is this a joke? I mean, it was marked in your book. I wanted to see what it was all about, so I just kind of read it. This is the shit you've been reading? The one I sat in for was, like, totally fine, but this?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Some of them are really off-putting.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I kicked you out the other day. I read all the stories before I record them, just to, like, get them in my head and get ready for them, and I knew that second one was weird. I didn't want you to have to listen to me read it. I kind of go into, like, a trance, sort of, when I read.
You don't think it's a little weird that your children's audiobook company or whatever is sending you shit like this? What do you even know about them beyond the name on your paycheck? This is fucked up.
I mean, they're weird, but that's what they sent me. They just send me the story numbers for this month, and then I record them and send them off, and I get paid. I don't particularly care what happens after that.
Yeah, you get paid. Lori? Bubba? This story is basically some twisted, gory version of the truth of late-stage capitalism, the world. I don't know, this isn't a fucking kid's story is what it is.
None of them really are. What else did you expect? Like, hell, The Devil's City Brother? Does that sound like a fucking kid's story to you?
I don't know, it's not this. I thought you were reading fucking Goldilocks or something, not like Goldilocks. Listen, this is giving me really bad vibes, like intensely bad, like horrible money-grubbing, child traumatizing vibes. There's gotta be other jobs out there.
There are other jobs out there. I like this one. I don't have to leave the house or, like, talk with anyone, and I get to hang out with our dog all day. The story contents don't exactly bother me much. Why do they bother you so much?
I don't know. I don't usually get scared easily. It's not right, Bubs. It's not fucking right. Something weird is going on here, and you're just ignoring it. What if you're getting tangled up with something, I don't know, really, really bad? I don't know what I would do if you really don't see anything wrong with this?
I mean, I guess I do. I don't fucking know. I need to record, Fish. I need some fucking peace and quiet.
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. This isn't that big of a deal. I'll talk it out with her later. It's fine. We always work out our little fights, I guess. Siblings fight all the time. It's normal. Even if you're not related by blood.
Okay, I'll stop mine.
Take one of Rapunzel. I need to find the page. Take 1 of Rapunzel, read by Laurie Adams. Take 3. Take 7 of Rapunzel, read by Laurie Adams. Once upon a time, there was a husband and wife who for some time had been wishing in vain for a child. Finally, the dear Lord gave the wife a sign of hope that their wish would be fulfilled. Now, in the back of their house, the couple had a small window that overlooked a splendid garden filled with the most beautiful flowers and herbs. The garden, however, was surrounded by a high wall, and nobody dared enter it because it belonged to a sorceress who was very powerful and feared by all. One day, when the wife was standing at the window and looking down into the garden, she noticed a bed of the finest Rapunzel lettuce. The lettuce looked so fresh and green that her mouth watered, and she had a great craving to eat some. Day by day, this craving increased, and since she knew she could not get any, she began to waste away and look pale and miserable. Her husband became alarmed and asked, "What's wrong with you, dear wife?" "Ah," she responded, "I shall certainly die if I don't get any of that Rapunzel from the garden behind our house." Her husband, who loved her, thought, "Before I let my wife die, I'll do anything I must to make sure she gets some Rapunzel." That day at dusk, he climbed over the wall into the garden of the sorceress, hastily grabbed a handful of Rapunzel, and brought them to his wife. Immediately she made them into a salad and ate it with great zest. But the Rapunzel tasted so good to her, so very good, that her desire for them was 3 times greater by the next day. If she was to have any peace, her husband knew he had to climb into the garden once more. So at dusk he scaled the wall again, and just as he landed on the other side, he was given a tremendous scare, for he stood face to face with the sorceress. "How dare you climb into my garden and steal my Rapunzel like a thief?" she said with an angry look. "You'll pay for this." "Oh," he cried, "please let mercy prevail over justice. I did this only because I was in a predicament. My wife noticed your Rapunzel from our window, and she developed such a great craving for it that she would have died if I hadn't brought her some to eat." Upon hearing that, the anger of the sorceress subsided, and she said to him, "If it's truly as you say, then I shall permit you to take as many Rapunzel as you like, but only under one condition. When your wife gives birth, I must have the child. You needn't fear about the child's well-being, for I shall take care of it like a mother." In his fear, the man agreed to everything, and when his wife had the baby, the sorceress appeared at once. She gave the child the name Rapunzel and took her away. Rapunzel grew to be the most beautiful child under the sun. But when she was 12 years old, the sorceress locked her in a tower that was in a forest. It had neither door nor stairs, only a little window high above. Whenever the sorceress wanted to get in, she would stand below and call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair for me." Rapunzel's hair was long and radiant, as fine as spun gold. Every time she heard the voice of the sorceress, she unpinned her braids and wound them around a hook on the window. Then she let her hair drop 20 yards, and the sorceress would climb up on it. A few years later, a king's son happened to be riding through the forest and passed by the tower. Suddenly, he heard a song so lovely that he stopped to listen. It was Rapunzel, who passed the time in her solitude by letting her sweet voice resound in the forest. The prince wanted to climb up to her, and he looked for a door, but could not find one. So he rode home. However, the song had touched his heart so deeply that he rode out into the forest every day and listened. One time, as he was standing behind a tree, he saw the sorceress approach and heard her call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Then Rapunzel let down her braids, and the sorceress climbed up to her. "If that's the ladder one needs to get up there, I'm also going to try my luck," the prince declared. The next day, as it began to get dark, he went to the tower and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." All at once the hair dropped down, and the prince climbed up. When he entered the tower, Rapunzel was at first terribly afraid, for she had never laid eyes on a man before. However, the prince began to talk to her in a friendly way and told her that her song had touched his heart so deeply that he had not been able to rest until he had seen her. Rapunzel then lost her fear, and when he asked her whether she would have him for her husband. She saw that he was young and handsome, she thought. He'll certainly love me better than old Mother Gothel. So she said yes and placed her hand in his. I want to go down with you very much, she said, but I don't know how I can get down. Every time you come, you must bring a skein of silk with you, and I'll weave it into a ladder. When it's finished, then I'll climb down, and you can take me away on your horse. They agreed that until then he would come to her every evening, for the old woman came during the day. Meanwhile, the sorceress did not notice anything until one day Rapunzel blurted out, Mother Gothel, how is it that you're much heavier than the prince? When I pull him up, he's here in a second. Ah, you godless child, exclaimed the sorceress. What's this I hear? I thought I had made sure that you had no contact with the outside world, but you've deceived me. In her fury, she seized Rapunzel's beautiful hair and wrapped it around her left hand several times, grabbed a pair of scissors with her right hand, and snip-snap the hair was cut off, and the beautiful braids lay on the ground. Then the cruel sorceress took Rapunzel to a desolate land where she had to live in the great misery and grief. On the same day that she banished Rapunzel, the sorceress fastened the braids that she had cut off to the hook on the window. And that evening, when the prince came and called out, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, she let the hair down. The prince climbed up, but instead of finding his dearest Rapunzel on top, he found the sorceress, who gave him vicious and angry looks. Aha! She exclaimed with contempt. You want to fetch your darling wife, but the beautiful bird is no longer sitting in the nest, and she won't be singing any more. The cat has got her, and it will also scratch out your eyes. Rapunzel is lost to you, and you will never see her again. The prince was beside himself with grief, and in his despair he jumped off the tower. He escaped with his life, but the thorns he fell into pierced his eyes, and so he became blind. Now he strayed about in the forest, ate nothing but roots and berries, and did nothing but mourn and weep about the loss of his dearest wife. Thus he wandered for many years in misery. Eventually he made his way to the desolate land where Rapunzel was leading a wretched existence with the twins, a boy and a girl to whom she had given birth. And when he heard a voice that he thought sounded familiar, he went straight toward it, and when he reached her, Rapunzel recognized him. She embraced him and wept, and as two of her tears dropped onto his eyes, they became clear, and he could see again. Then he escorted her back to his kingdom, where he was received with joy, and they lived happily and contentedly for a long time thereafter. This one wasn't so bad. I mean, it's still got gory bits, unfortunately, but it's not nearly as bad as the last one. The one that Fish read, I mean. I don't like fighting with her. It makes both of us feel bad, and then shit is weird between us for days, and it sucks feeling like I can't talk to her. Because she's the most important person in my life. Thank God we don't fight that often. But this fight seemed different. I don't know what she's thinking is so wrong with the stories. They're just stories. There's not really any issues, right? It's just a book. Doesn't matter that it was on the other side of the office this morning when I came in to set up. Fish probably came and browsed through it or something last night. Probably just wanted some light reading material. I really should go talk to her. I'm gonna go talk to her. End recording. Antecedently is written and produced by Crow Strider. Kira Sobriquet as the voice of Fish, Crow Strider as the voice of Lori. Siren Song was written by Kira Sobriquet. If you want to contact us, you can email us at antecedently.podcast.com or find us on Twitter at antecedentlypod. If you'd like to find other links, including our Patreon, go to our website, antecedently.carrd.com. Thanks for listening.